1. Hey, we am live.
Yo.
We are always live before I actually finish the countdown. So it is what it is. What's
Hello,
going on,
everyone.
guys? Welcome to a very special SHOKY Sunday live, which is going to look a lot like one of our old normal live streams because this one is here.
Hello, everyone.
I'm going to move my microphone a little bit closer here. So happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there and grandpas and everything else like that. It's not Uncle's Day, though. That doesn't count. So hopefully you guys are getting the time to spend with your family and stuff like that. I'll be doing that later on today. But we wanted to go ahead and do an interesting thing today because his family got him some stuff and they wanted to open it up on a live stream. And by thinking that he wouldn't have much of an audience on his channel, I said, I need something to do on my channel. Just come on my live stream. What's the difference? So he's going to be opening up some stuff. Okay, so I got a data wall. I got a Lorita MJB. Of course, Hugh Are You comic watching from the living room of your house.
Yep, that's my wife.
from the sit space. So you have the shelf space, that's the sit space. It also
Pretty
has
much.
lots of, even though that has more shelves than the actual shelf space.
True. And we rearranged the living room recently, so it's very much a sit space for Joan. She was just telling me the other night that she was really happy with how everything was sitting, and she gets like just the right airflow and stuff like that.
Did she turn into Sheldon all of a sudden? You got the exact right spot. You get here, you don't get exposure from the sun. You get the direct.
Just about.
This is her spot.
Where the couch was against the fireplace, the two chairs are now over there.
Oh, interesting.
And so she sits in her chair at the one corner, and I think like one of the vents is facing it just the right direction to blow on her. Plus, she gets the fan at just the right point. So yeah, it's exactly like what Sheldon was doing, where he has
that's funny. His spot. This is her spot. Sorry that you haven't had your coffee yet, Eric. That sucks. I've got mine right here. It's not really warm anymore, and it's a little too strong. I had to get up early to go get coffee and breakfast stuff this morning. No appreciation at all. It made some nice breakfast tacos. So Hugh hoarded the troops. That's funny. Yeah, so we're gonna be loaded down with people who are completely foreign to the channel. Welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out and watch Rodimus open some stuff. And it's kind of funny because I guess the deal is that they know what you got and you don't. So that's always fun.
Yeah. My son's peeking through the door right now, hopping up and down, excited. But he has something special he wants to give me as well.
Okay.
When we get to that point, I will call you in. Okay.
So hi. I forgot he can actually hear me. Yeah. Is hopefully in one of those boxes is a Bluetooth headset.
I highly doubt it.
I'm just gonna get you one. I'm just for future reference, just a normal Bluetooth headset, like a gaming thing, so we can do that. So we can do this with less issues. Okay, so thank you for having us. Hey, I'm just here. I'm just hosting. We were hoping to have more dads on getting cool stuff, and I put out the word, and I haven't heard back from anybody yet. So hopefully, maybe by the end, some other dads will come on, because obviously I'm not a father yet, so I just have to buy myself some cool stuff. Silence phone. Of course, I'm getting all these nice notifications because it's right after 10 a.m. I mean, I got myself something really cool, and I'm gonna, just for sake of what's written on it, I'll keep it turned this way. So this is my F unicorn or funicorn. It's what I call it now, my trophy of apathy. Because it is the single dumbest and best thing I've ever bought. It really is.
Set it down right there.
Hi.
I won't look. Close the door.
Well, wait, I could hear myself from the other room, I think.
My wife was walking with the laptop down the
I was gonna say I heard my own echo. That's funny. So we'll just do what we normally do. We'll wait for people to show up. I know it's still It's either both early in the morning or late in the morning, just depending for people. And, you know, normally I like to either go evening or morning time or just random at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for some days. So since we're here, let's do some quick promotion. What have you recently had on your channel that people need to go look at?
Let's see. Last Monday I had I believe that was the Kamen Rider Double review, the Figurize standard.
Yep. I know it was on one of those days.
That was a cool kit, cool video to work on. I did show up all the stuff on it because I didn't care for some of the features on it. So I was like, I'm not going to disassemble this thing just to show off something that I don't really care for.
No. You have to take it completely apart to assemble the sliding gimmick.
I didn't even like that gimmick in the show. I remember seeing that in the show. I was like, that's silly.
I don't get that.
And then Friday's video was Beast Wars Backtrack with Polar Claw, one of my favorites, which hasn't garnered a whole lot of views, but it's a thing.
Yeah. A lesser known, not in the series character. But what's funny is I saw that particular toy a ton on the shelves as a kid. But because it wasn't a character I knew, I didn't get it.
Plus the Mega class figures, if I remember correctly, tend to, at least back then, tended to shell form a lot more.
Yeah, because it cost more. What were the cost of those roughly back in the day?
Oh,
like I figure it compares to like the leader classes now, but probably.
Well, no, it compares more to the Voyager class now.
I mean, cost wise,
because deluxes were 10, basics were probably what 5 to 7.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
So my guess would be Megas were 15 to 20.
That's it. I would have thought they were more. Well, like how much were like the big ones? Like,
oh, I can't remember because
those ultra class.
You have ultra class, which that's more equivalent to the leader class.
Yeah, because I was just thinking like there had to have been a reason the big ones were shell forming so often. Yeah. Like I guess obviously like Megatron and Optimus and Depth Charge and stuff like that. Those probably moved a lot more than some of the non actual characters, so to speak. He's really wanting
to know that he was watching on his iPad.
I know there's a comment. There's already a comment from the Who Are You comic page.
Well, he might be if he's watching on his iPad, he may be using technically his own account or something like that.
No, I mean there's a comment from Who Are You Comics letting us know he's watching on his iPad. It's like, and he comes in to tell us that he's watching on his iPad.
Yeah, because that's my son.
Yep. I'm hurting. So let's see here. I had all kinds of stuff. I think I actually had a full week of content last week. Interesting.
I think I remember there being a few things.
I think I had something every single day. Cool. Not this week though. I'm not quite caught up. But I had 2 Gunpla reviews in the same week. It's been a while for that. But now I've got a whole bunch of new stuff. I got Beast Box things. I've got things from Big Shot Toy Works. I'm working on the MG Barbatos, so that'll be coming eventually. I don't know if I'll do updates on that or not. And then I got I do have an In the Kitchen video coming this week. I just have to edit it. So I did get some cool stuff. And I have more stuff coming. I've been bad. I totally left something out of the In the Kitchen video. Where did I put? Oh, it's literally sitting right here. Hey, what?
You'll have to like make yourself pop in or something like that. It's like, oh wait.
No, I'll just show it now. My cord was hung up. So we're currently cleaning the Shoky home. So things are a bit messy in here as they had to be relocated back into the cave. So later, after the stream, we have to clean bedroom and bathroom.
It's okay, kiddo.
We'll get to it.
Go.
Also, I am because
Xavier,
of my
just go.
I'm
Okay, that's fine. It's fine.
He's funny.
He is. He's an awesome kid.
Yes, Eric, you do need to come get your Barbatos. But I did manage to go pick up my
Ooh.
Flame Toys Devastator kit from good old Space Cadets. So I'll be starting on that as soon as I can get some black paint. I have all the other paints. I have no black paint.
Are you doing anything special with the paint scheme on that, or just?
No, just painting it as it is. I haven't even opened the box yet. Yeah, I haven't opened the box yet, but I need to compare the actual paint colors. So I think I've got all the right paint colors for that. Oh, I'm just waiting for Re-Rise to come back. I hope it does soon.
Yeah, we haven't heard any announcements on it yet, which is a little worrisome, but they're slowly getting studios and stuff like that reopened. I know Superhero Time with Kamen Rider and Super Sentai just recently announced that they are going back into production and should have new stuff, I think, by the end of the month or something.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, it's like for an anime or anything animated, for the most part, your actors never have to be with anyone else. Like, you just need a producer and them, in two separate rooms.
It's the animators that it becomes problematic because they tend to work in close quarters.
Well, even that, you could set them up separately. In some places, probably even work from home and be able to move files wherever they need to. In theory, it could be done. It would be a slower process, but I think it could be done. Much like your job could easily be done from home, but
Yeah, that's all.
Yep. Yes, Jerry, it is early. It's because it's a morning time stream. It's sort of what I do half the time. and then of course the fact that it's Father's Day, he needs to open some stuff.
Yep.
So how many things do you have to open there? Do we have enough to stretch it out for a minute?
I'm not entirely certain because this is what I have wrapped up right now.
I like the no peeking paper. That's funny.
What's funny is this has been sitting in far corner of the bathroom. So like every time I go to the restroom, I see this thing just sort of staring at me.
Okay, so the wifey says it'll take a while to unwrap, so this sucks.
Yeah, I think that's part of why she's out there and she wants to see people's reaction to this because
do you have room to scooch back or no? Yeah, so we can get a wider shot. There we go. Yeah. Actually, I'll also bring your screen up by yourself here.
Let's see.
There.
Okay.
I'm not important here.
Shall we get started then?
Yeah, go ahead. She's laughing at you.
So, we'll unwrap it.
It's a box.
And it's a box.
Ooh.
And interesting enough, it's glue side up. Okay.
This is basically going to be boxes inside of boxes wrapped.
And inside the box is this.
Another box. That's an odd shaped thing.
It feels soft around the edges.
Much like us.
What is?
It's bubble wrapped, huh?
Inside the wrapping paper.
What is that? Like silver bubble wrap?
This is like insulating bubble wrap.
Yeah.
We get imperfect produce stuff.
Yep.
And whenever they put like an ice pack in there.
Yeah. Apparently Hida got to wake up to see your face. So it's a wonderful face to wake up to. That's why the Rodimus13 wakes up to it every day. And apparently decides to torture him by making him open boxes inside of boxes. See, okay, so at least she's nice enough to do everything in one box so far. I'm the kind of friend who will give you multiple gifts and make you do scavenger hunt for them.
I remember one time with Joan, I wrapped up. Oh, I'm hearing her laughing. Wrapped up she got a whole set of manga, and I wrapped up each individual volume and then put it in another box and wrapped that box.
Yeah. No, I mean I've definitely wrapped smaller things inside of big boxes before. But we once for Christmas many years ago, my friend wanted to give his fiance a new ring. They weren't married just yet. So yeah. So not only did we have a scavenger hunt for it, and she found gifts along the way. And I mean, I don't mean within the house. I mean within the city. So she had to go to multiple houses to do this. And then ultimately it was in a body kit box. So a box that basically fits several parts of a car inside it that was weighed down with cinder blocks, completely filled with packing peanuts. And the ring was in a ring box inside the thing at the bottom. And so we had to put her in the box and had her dig for it. All like Nickelodeon game show style.
So in one of the boxes I just unwrapped is another wrapped box. I'm going to open up this.
Is this all leftover Christmas wrapping paper too?
Yes, but that's not too surprising, mainly because we tend to buy wrapping paper when it goes on sale.
Yeah,
so we'll buy bunches of it. That way we're not caught off guard. Making sure I don't feel an address. Yep, and inside this box.
So much wrapping paper. The trees are dying. Yeah, so basically you're going to be blocked into your... Oh, that was a lovely noise. You're going to be blocked into your room here.
Okay. So we're unwrapping this one.
You guys can't see my reaction. I'm just gonna go. We're gonna be here a minute.
I think so.
We don't need
my wife cackle and clap back there.
I bet that's 2 more boxes inside it there.
See, the funny thing is, I remember seeing some of the stuff coming in, and then she shows me the big box, and I'm like, I don't remember it being that much stuff, but okay, maybe there was something I missed. So now we're down to 4 smaller boxes.
Those better have something in, like one thing in each.
Remember, you love me. You love me. Remember that.
I do.
And you're at the final layers.
Okay, my wife just confirmed we're at the final layer.
Okay. Layers. Final layers.
We got this. HG Zabanya.
Zavanya. The one with the fences. Cool. Gundam that comes with its own fence. It's a penny. Okay, so now we know they're all HG kits. That gives it away. Like, you got... Why are you buzzing at me, phone?
Oh, cool. Got F91.
The 91.
And that's an HG F91, so that's going to be tiny.
Yeah. That's an older kit, too.
2013. So I think this is from when they were trying to do, like, all of the main Hero Gundams. But yeah, you can see the difference in thicknesses on the box.
I don't know. That might have been before they started doing the All Gundam project. I think that started in 2015.
Because it happened around the same time as the original Build Fighters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess it'd be 2013, 2014. Oh, no.
Speaking of Build Fighters,
Star winning. Star winning. Hold on, wait. You get it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, that would be awesome. See, the real joke is that's not actually these kits. There's more presents inside the boxes.
That'd be funny, but they're all sealed in different ways.
Yeah.
So
Have you noticed?
Very, very creative.
You know, there is one thing about Father's Day is that most of the gifts that fathers receive generally require work or become work. Either they're tools or things for projects or projects in themselves. Like men get stuff that they have to put together.
And we got that's the 0080 version of the Zagok.
Nice.
That's cool.
He acts for them.
The Zagok Experiment, apparently, is what it's called. I didn't realize it had a fancy name like that.
Yeah, it looks different.
Yeah, but those are some cool kits. Yeah.
Yep. He asked for them. Well, I know. I'm just saying. It is funny that guys or dads tend to get things that require more work.
Okay.
Or a tie.
And my son, let's see. So he wrote a letter saying, I would give you a thank you, Dad. I'm having trouble reading his handwriting. So basically, he made a picture of something that I would love. So he painted this for me. And I'm thinking it's based off of something from Animal Crossing. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it's really cool that he painted something just for me, and he used sparkly paint on it. So I'm going to need to find a place for this.
It almost looks like an oven mitt with an eye on it. What is it?
I have it sideways.
It's a mug.
Oh, it's a mug.
Oh.
It's a mug.
It's called a Thank You Dad mug.
Oh, that makes sense.
You like Thank You Dad mug in Animal Crossing, but you don't play it. So I made you a picture of it.
Okay. I don't know if you heard that, but
Yeah, we heard it.
Okay. So that's really cool.
Makes way more sense. Turn that way. It's like, I don't know what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, he's been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, which is something he gets to do with his mom and his grandma and stuff, but I don't play the game. Though I've been tempted to pick it up a couple of times.
I won't. That's why I bought it. That's why I bought a game about being a shark.
Yeah, I saw that post last night.
It's a hard game. There's so much grinding involved to level up from a baby shark. This is not the kind of baby shark. Huh?
Do you go do as a baby shark?
You don't. You go chomp 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 chomp. You eat things and people and sink boats and find radioactive waste to help you grow, that kind of stuff.
Radioactive waste to help you grow.
Yeah, you're already a mutated shark to begin with.
That explains why you're going after people, considering sharks don't normally go after people.
Well, the funny thing is the entire game is based around the premise of I hit the wrong button. The entire game is based around the premise of a reality show of shark hunters. You're playing at the shark, but the reality show follows them while they're hunting you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's voiced over by I forgot his name. But he's a comedian, he's an actor, been on SNL. His name will come to me eventually. But it's pretty funny. Huh? No. Younger guy. He was an archer and a bunch of other stuff. It'll come to me eventually. I can't remember his name. Chris Parnell. That's his name. There we go.
Okay.
So it's Chris Parnell doing the voiceover as the narrator. And he does it like the whole time, like throwing out random shark facts as you grow and do stuff. And like you have to get to these grottos that are like hidden, and that's where you can evolve and upgrade yourself. So like I watched Jacksepticeye play it, and I'm like, okay, I really want to play this. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto Shark Edition.
I may
Next,
have to check out some playthroughs of that. That sounds way too much fun. Is that an
except it
Xbox
is.
game or a PlayStation game?
I got it on Xbox, but I'm sure it's available across platforms. The hardest thing about it is the fight system, because you have to fight other predators. So when you start out in the bayou, because that's kind of where you were left, So you're ripped out of your mama, and then dumped in the water, and then like basically you got to fight your way up, and you grow as you eat, obviously. So you're eating little fish and turtles and whatnot, but as you get a little bit bigger and you explore a bit more, you start running into things like alligators. And I can't pronounce what these things are called, but they're like very aggressive fish. And they're weak, but they can still mess you up. But then like the alligators is where I was stuck last night, like because you have to kill these level 15 alligators that are like the alpha predators in the area. And you're like, you have to get to at least a teen shark to do it. And it's so hard. And like, if you saw my post last night, it's like, yeah, it's pretty amazing that how an alligator with no legs can still manage to kill you.
I was wondering what that post was about.
Literally, that's what it is. I had this thing beat. It had a tiny little sliver of red life bar left. No legs. No legs. All I needed was one solid attack on it. And it was swimming away from me. But it managed to whip around, and because it can hit you with the tail or bite you. And you can do the same thing. You can bite or do a tail whip. But trying to battle that, and then you have to rotate the camera. So so you got to spin the camera. You got to do yourself. If you attack, you lunge. You have other things. So if you miss, you're screwed. So the fact that I died with a good chunk of life bar left when that thing was literally on its deathbed with no legs, I was so mad. I was so I almost rage quit. Like and the wife is just watching me. She thought it was funny at first until I was going for hours. She's like, can we do something else? She's just watching me falling asleep in the chair. Alligator Gar. No. You do deal with Gar later. As you get out into like a bay and stuff like that. So like you go from a swamp, then you go into like a nearby bay that has like an amusement park and stuff like that. And the cool thing is there's huge underwater environments and tons of Easter eggs and things for you to happen upon, like houses that are collapsed, sunken boats, art installations that were sunk. Like there's one that's an alligator that's made out of other stuff, and like you discover it. You have to like you eat the sign to unlock the location. You're swimming through like abandoned sewers, stuff like that. I mean, it's a really pretty game. And time is passing, so sun up, sun down, all this stuff like that. And so like when it's night, obviously it's darker underwater. And then when you get the sun going down, you got the yellow coming through the trees, through the top of the water. Everything looks brilliantly yellow. And if you sink a boat, like gas goes everywhere nearby, so the water goes kind of green. Yeah, cool. It's definitely set in Louisiana because you're fighting a Cajun guy for sure. But like the game starts like a lot of them do, where you're at an advantage. You're actually playing as the mama shark, and then you get captured. So you get to have a whole bunch of fun first, eating a bunch of people on the beach, and then taking down some hunter boats, and then you get captured and killed. But then you play as the baby from there on out. But kind of like
playing. Use that as the tutorial, basically.
Kind of, yeah. But you get to play with more advantage at that point. Except you don't know that. I knew because I watched the playthrough that that's what happens. It's like, why would you start out with a character that dies? It makes no sense. But it's almost like Planet of the Apes, like the new one, where Caesar's mom was given the medication that made her smart, and then when he was born, he was already enhanced, and then got exposed again. So like you're actually supposedly the child of one semi-normal shark and a very not normal shark, and then you get into all this radioactive stuff, so you start mutating and gaining all kinds of powers, like a shocking ability, bone armor. So when I say it's a mutant shark by the end, it's pretty awesome. Like Jack played through most of the main story before he picked up The Last of Us, but like you get out into almost like open ocean, and there's like killer whales, normal size whales, like squids, all kinds of stuff later. So things that are way too big for you to be able to attack. So apparently you can get like really far into it as you go. But also like the starting area has things that you can't unlock until you're an adult or even an elder shark. So the ability to come back and replay and like things that are out of the water that are too high for you to reach at first, like because you can dive and then breach. So you got to wait till you're bigger and stronger so that you can get these things that are much higher in the air. But half the fun is legitimately like just going after innocent humans, and that's why it's so fun. Because like you literally do the shark thing, you like, and then you just grab them out of the water.
Does it have like a play on the Jaws music?
Kind of, but not really. But they do have the whole thing where like you have to do like I forgot what they call it, not skimming or something like that, where you actually have the fin coming out of the water and you're just swimming at the surface. But you can also go on land for a little bit and hop around and like snap people. But then you have to get back in the water before you suffocate. Like you have a suffocation bar, and as soon as it's gone, then you start suffocating, and you have to get back to water before you die. Twice I died like that last night trying to hop across like a little like peninsula to get to another chunk of swamp. I was like, I'm like, yeah, like, come on. It's a lot of fun. It's so dumb, and I hope there'll be expansions later for it. It's fairly new. I think it only came out like April or beginning of May.
Something like that. I think I've seen little blurbs about it on like Kotaku and stuff like that.
Yeah, just called Maneater. It's funny. Alligator tail is only half as dangerous as his face. I don't know if it whips you, it can take you out. Clearly, it kills sharks that are not meant to be in their environment. But you can also I forgot what it's called, but like say you because your trigger bites, so every time you hit the trigger, it's chomping, right? So if you grab onto something, you can also hit the left bumper, and it will like hold and then drop it as you do a tail whip, and it'll send whatever object you were holding flying. So you can actually like just smack people or fish or turtles or whatever. And the bigger you get, the further you can fling them. It's pretty fun. Sinking boat.
I think my son's still listening because I suddenly heard him walking out. He has a baby shark toy that when you squeeze it, it plays the song.
Not a children's game.
No.
It is censored to some degree because for language and whatnot. Yeah. But obviously the violence and stuff is not. But it's a lot of fun. And like whenever you kill something big enough, it breaks down into chunks, and you have to eat all the chunks for to get your XP bar up.
Reminds me a little bit of Spore, the way you're describing it, like some of the early stages in Spore.
Maybe, I don't know, because you keep getting bigger. I think at some point you probably have to reproduce because they do mention that you're female. So who knows? Maybe it'll be a generational game. Like you get to play as the next one. and in game it is generational as well, because the guy who's hunting you, his dad was killed supposedly by the Meg, as he called it, and like his son is visiting for the summer, going sharking with him. And so now it's like, okay, so this guy is now out for revenge against this shark, and then you open the game by taking his right hand when you're born. And so like it's funny. It ends up being like your family of sharks versus his family of humans, and you have to keep, and as you escalate things through different areas, you fight different hunters who are like trying to make a name for themselves. So I guess you have an infamy bar or something like that. So like the more damage you cause, the more people you take out, like more hunters come after you depending on the area you're in.
Like the stars in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, but this is a progression thing, not like situational. Like,
okay.
So you move to a new area, there's like 6 big hunters, but the more you do, the more you'll move up through those hunter lists, and they'll come after you, and you can, with their fleet of boats or divers or dynamite. That happens later, apparently. I assume there's subs later too.
Get the military after you.
Yeah, well, that would be funny if it gets that far. But it's a fun game. I enjoyed it. And I've only just got started. I'll have to play it more on Monday when the wifey's not around. Or I could play it on my computer because I can just stream it to the computer.
Shoky gaming.
I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna go that far. But like I played what was I playing? Either Halo or something else. So she was watching TV and I wanted to play Xbox. So I was just like, okay, I'll stream it to the computer. I'll put my headset on. And other than a slight bit of lag, it wasn't that bad.
That's cool.
Since it has game DVR. Okay, so what here? Oh yeah. So no new things here. Okay, so I was gonna live stream the next part of the Ecto 1 build, but I'm not there yet. But like I told you, this is so messed up. There was such a delay in the previous one that it got here to the cave the day I got charged for my next one. And so my next one, that means it's a month off almost. So my next one, it says it's shipped, but that doesn't mean anything. That means it was being prepared. The last one was being prepared for over a week, and then it took it like 11 days to get here, something like that. Though unlike last time where it was just bouncing around Houston for no reason, this one like came straight here like it should have. So it told me it was going to be here like a totally different day, and it came a lot quicker. Which was real confusing when I went to go track it and it showed that it was being prepared. And then I realized I clicked on the new tracking, not the previous tracking. I was like, what happened? I was like, I can't even see the thing. And apparently I've got a mess to clean up. Some more Power Rangers fell off the shelves for some reason.
Oh, no.
Well, the new neighbors were making some ruckus the other night. I assume it was just the kid, their son playing around, because you know I could tell when the adults are just doing stuff because there's almost no noise at all, like just light footsteps if anything, and then sometimes there's boom, 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 boom. And then like
that sounds about like a kid.
And then what is definitely the sound of a bouncing ball, which is a new noise never heard before. So the first time we heard it, considering all the other noise we've dealt with from upstairs neighbors, this is a really strange sound. It sounds like duck, 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 duck. And it's only in the kitchen, and that's the only hard floor except for the bathroom. So he's literally just bouncing the ball in the kitchen. But anyway, so I heard that noise the other night, and we're like, okay, that's what that is. And then we heard something else, and I'm like, I actually had to get out of bed and like, what was that? And then come in here a day later and like, oh, some stuff fell over. So I've got a few extra Power Rangers on the floors and stuff like that I got to pick up. So I got to clean up in here today, along with all the other things we got to do, and then go see my dad around lunchtime or so. Yeah, go do Father's Day elsewhere.
Yeah, I'll probably give my dad a call after we're done with the stream here. See how he's doing.
Yep.
I know things are fun over at my parents' place because my mom got hurt recently, but she's doing better now, and they are currently working on basically clearing out a bunch of rooms in the house so that way they can replace the flooring in them.
Oh wow, yeah.
And every so often I'm getting calls from my mom basically saying it's like, we found this and this and this stuff. What do you want us to do with it? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, you actually
in the shed. A lot of stuff is going into a shed.
Yeah. So what you got a so you actually got a warning when they found some stuff and asked what they wanted to do with it instead of just finding out they threw out a whole bunch of your stuff. That's
well, they've been trying to get me to take stuff home.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we know we don't have the space just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when we go up to visit my folks, we take my wife's car, which is much smaller. So we'll have enough room for like our luggage and stuff like that and Xavier stuff, but not anything else. So that's what that sound was.
That's funny. And then he thinks it's funny. It's like Xavier will have his own cult following. Hope not. That really messes with people. But what was I? There was something I was thinking before. Oh, you said your mom got hurt. You told me about that. My mom apparently got hurt on like Thursday. I found out. I called her because I was still waiting on my new debit card. and I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to their house by chance, because every now and then I find out their address is still my address. So I called her, and apparently she was on her way home from the ER. And I'm like,
No.
what? What happened? So I guess she must have been mowing, because she said she was in the ditch, and she from what I gathered, she fell out of the ditch, like trying to walk up the side of the ditch, and locked her footing and fell out, but she landed elbow down on the pavement.
Ooh.
So like apparently split her whole elbow open, messed up her shoulder, had to get stitches and a bunch of stuff. So we gotta check on her today as well. And she's basically doing a whole lot of stuff around the house. I do wish they would rely on me a little bit more. It's not that I'm unreliable. They just never call me for things. It's like, if you need help mowing, give me a call. I mean,
you're not too far from your parents either, if I remember correctly, right?
No, about 20 minutes.
Well, that's nothing in Houston time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even Houston, it's out here. So, so if they need help, I just wish they would call me more. Like, they've been cleaning up around the place, getting rid of stuff, clearing out the old shop, and that's where a lot of my old projects were. I stressed the were. And it's like, and I said, it's like, hey, when you're ready to do this, give me a call, because that way you don't have to get up on a ladder and stuff like that. I come by weeks later, find out they've already done it. It was just like, no phone call, no nothing, no Facebook messages. Come on. It's like, I'm right there. I can do some stuff, and if it keeps her from getting injured, what I assume, like I said, there's no other reason for her to be in the ditch other than mowing. So I guess she's hand mowing and then falling over. Doesn't want to bother you. It's like, I even told her, it's like, look, you're not bothering me. If I can't immediately help you, I'll tell you I can't immediately help you. I've got something going on, but don't assume I'm busy. My life is not that busy. And, everything else that I've got going on is not that important when it comes down to it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my folks and my mom in particular have a bad tendency of not wanting to worry us, so they don't necessarily tell us when bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
But things were concerning enough that my dad, he actually contacted my mother-in-law, and she was the one that called me. Though that was partly because my dad was really, really worried about what's going on. He could barely talk, basically.
Yeah. No,
Thankfully, everything's fine now.
Yeah. See, I get, like, if my mom calls me, it's either usually going to be, hey, we got some stuff in the mail for you, or this is going down, just to let you know. If my dad calls me, I know something bad has happened.
Oh boy.
Because he's not the one who calls. If he's calling me, especially on his phone, then I know my mom can't call, which means something bad has happened. So when I got that call at work, and I was all the way out in Cleveland, and they were rushing her to the ER because they said she had a heart attack, and I'm like, okay, let me call my boss real quick, But yeah, it's just like, so yeah, if it's my dad calling, I know nothing good is happening, And now with the fact that he can't drive, that makes things worse. So, like, the fact that I got no notification that she got hurt, obviously she couldn't call. Apparently the neighbor saw what happened and helped her, and I guess called an ambulance or whoever. And then my aunt was taking her home from the hospital. I don't know if she took her to the hospital. Obviously she was in no condition to drive. She was bleeding everywhere. So we'll go see how they're doing. After we get done cleaning up around here, I would almost rather go see them and then come home and clean than clean and then go. At least that's my mindset. Like, because I'm still tired, dang it. It's like, I'm tired. And so, like, our dining-ish area?
Yeah.
So that light has been, quote-unquote, burned out for a couple weeks. Like, I went to go do a thing, and I flipped a switch, and the light didn't come on, so I figured, okay, light's burned out. So yesterday, since we were cleaning, and we got rid of the other couch that was in the way, I went up there, opened the thing. I was like, okay, hand me that good light bulb right there. I put it in, flipped the switch, nothing. So Yeah. Now my worry is that our little furry friends that we had chewed through the wires or something, because that's where we heard them a lot. Was right above that spot. So I filed for a maintenance dealie to come out there. I mean, I could legit just pull the light fixture out and look. I can do that, But if there's no power, no, it's not my job. But I also like to discover these things on my own, and so I can hold it against them, and be like, look. But it's very recent, like, because I always use that light when I'm filming in the kitchen.
Yeah,
because it's a big, broad light. So that's fairly recent that wasn't working. So from the previous in the kitchen video, no, even that one, I don't know the light was working because I had this light right here set up. So I don't know. Find out. What's this? I came from the dad present. I stayed for the podcast. Thanks. Like, yeah, half the time there, Laura, on Shoky Sunday Live, it's just me BSing, and if I have a friend wants to come and hang out, that's one thing. Or like last time, I was doing an unboxing and stuff like that. And then under normal circumstances, he and I are reviewing a Gundam anime series, stuff like that. Bye, Data. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks.
Thomas, tell Shoky about the paint job. The new color of the front of your house.
Oh, you haven't seen the pictures of that?
I saw the pictures. She's the one who told me to tell you to tell me.
So we've repainted the front of the house.
It's very bold.
Part of the side, basically all the stucco stuff. So now the instead of having that sort of, well, it was sort of an off-white because it was just kind of dirty.
Yeah.
We have a sort of the color. The official name of the color is like fine wine.
It looks like red wine.
Yeah, and so it's a sort of red burgundy color.
Do you want to show people?
Sure.
Okay, that's what it looks like now.
So
yeah,
try to make.
What's funny is it doesn't look like y'all's house.
No, it does make everything feel a lot different.
It does. The problem with, well, I don't want to say problem with colors that bold, it makes it look heavier. Like it legit makes it look, and on a super bright day like that, and the grass is super green.
Yeah, so that's what it looked like before.
Boring old house. Oh, you know what's funny? I forgot what we were watching the other night. There was a house that looked very much like y'all's, except that there was no garage and the thing was flipped over. So like your kitchen window was on the other side, but the design and everything was like very similar. I forgot what show it was. And we both looked at each other and goes, it looks like Thomas's house. It's like, so now you've shown up in Pitch Perfect. An alternate version of your house has shown up on some other TV show. What's next?
What's funny is there's a couple of houses in the neighborhood here that I swear are probably the same floor plan as the house I grew up in back in the Austin area. And that's not too surprising because parts of this neighborhood I think are at the right age for that.
No UB40. No UB40 on this channel.
Now the fun thing that happened while we were getting it painted, I got to hear about this when I was at work. So the guys are doing the painters are doing their thing.
Yeah.
And my wife's sitting in the living room and she swears she hears our neighbor talking at one point.
Yeah.
But she couldn't quite hear anything, but decided to not worry about it. Later, she hears she goes to talk to them about, so probably handing off water and stuff like that because we had some bottled water for them because it was stupid hot those days. They apparently, our neighbor did in fact come up and was hassling them, saying it's like, do you have permission to paint the house this color? Do they have permission from the HOA?
Wait, we're like, crazy guy next door?
Yeah, this is the same person that went into our yard, hooked up our hose, and turned on the sprinkler because we weren't watering our tree enough.
Well, I don't have that problem anymore.
Yeah, well, that's because the tree was dead, and we cut it down and removed it. And when you
So
look
he
at
was
the,
right. You weren't
no,
watering a tree enough. That's why it died.
no, the tree was at the end of its life. It was
I
one of
know.
those.
I'm just joking.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
but
that guy is a. There was the one time he was asking me if I was like delivering food, like I guess he had ordered DoorDash or something, and like I'm carrying stuff in to. Oh, you know what? It was when I came over for the Spooktacular deal. You know, and I
oh,
was carrying bags of stuff, so he thought I was delivering his food, and I was at the wrong house. And I'm like,
yeah,
no. It's like I'm here to hang out. Like, I mean, that's my only interaction with that guy. But from the things you've told me, it's just like, ooh. But I was
yeah,
actually wondering. I was like, for that kind of color, is like that is one of those things HOAs are always very picky about.
yeah. There's like 3 or 4 people that have to sign off on changes to the exterior of the house, and we got
Yeah,
all the signatures like within a day or two of each other, actually.
nice.
So it's possible maybe they didn't realize what they were signing off on, but that's their problem, not
Hey,
ours.
hey, if they gave permission, they can't take it back, right?
Yeah, right.
Now, I would understand if, like, for something that bold, if they said, like, okay, you can only have a certain percentage of it, a color that thing, you know, like the trim or like a bottom belt or something like that of the
Mhm.
house, or doors, so to speak. I would understand that. Like, that's one of those things. Like, it's, you know, they get really weird about those things. This is why, like, wherever we move in the future, I want to make sure there's not like a ridiculous HOA, because some of them are really nuts
It
about
can be.
stuff. Now, mind you, we're planning on leasing anyways, so half of the things will be determined by whoever really owns the home.
Yeah.
If we move to a house, that is. There's a lot of new townhomes and apartments being built locally, so hopefully that's where we will be going next year. We did sign our new lease.
Mm.
We did negotiate the price down just a little bit, but they couldn't go
Oh,
below.
that's
Yeah, we didn't want to go. It was only about $10 more than we told them we would pay. They said, look, we can't go any lower because everything has gone up, you know. So it's not terrible, and we're still paying less than they want. So that's a good thing for us. But, you know, if things keep getting worse around here, we're going to be like, look, you're going to have to drop the rent or something, because it's like this is not improving.
no. Considering everything that's been going on.
Yeah. Well, like I said, and hopefully this light might just be a burned out switch. God knows how old it is. You know, could be at the switch, could be in the walls, or ceiling technically, because there's not really electrical running through the walls. So hopefully it'll be a quick fix. I mean, I can do basic electrical. So if it comes down to it, I will figure. If it comes to running wires, I can't do that, but I could, you know, patch a broken wire or replace a switch in
Yeah.
the wall. That's not a big deal. I can do that. I know where the breaker is, so I can turn off that whole wall and stuff like that and just do it and save them some time.
Is that
'Cause,
inside? Do you have the breaker inside your apartment, or is that like
yeah,
located?
it's in our closet.
Okay.
I went to check to make sure there weren't any breakers tripped, and the only one that was off was the one that I think they redid. There was one that was tripped or turned off, but turning it on did nothing. Turning it off did nothing. So I think it's just a dead breaker. Like there's nothing connected to it. Because it does say like kitchen lights or something, but it's like turning it off didn't do anything. Turning it on didn't do anything. So I was like, I don't know if this was tripped or it was just never on in the first place. But it made no
Weird.
difference. Brick houses are that color, yes, but there are places that are so picky that the red in your brick have to be specific.
Mm-hmm.
There are those places that are like, no, you have to buy this brick from this company. You know,
Yeah.
when we never had.
Go ahead.
Well, growing up, you know, where I did, there was not an HOA, but there were deed restrictions,
Mm-hmm.
and those eventually went out the window. My dad actually tried to organize an HOA, not one that had fees or anything, but just to keep things clean, keep things organized, keep people running businesses out of their houses, to keep livestock and things like that down, and to keep junk out, because there are people who legitimately basically had their home was a junkyard. And whenever it got full, they just moved to the next lot over, and they just left
Oh,
the junk.
no.
Decades later, those people finally cleaned up things a bit, but it's still mostly the same. But it would have kept out the guy who's like across the corner from my parents that have a really big industrial business, and they have horse training. So, you got big 18-wheelers hauling out big equipment. You've got horses being trained all throughout the day, tons of noise, everything else like that. But back in the day when we moved in and built the house and everything like that, the main strip, before there was an exit out the back, every house on that strip, the front had to be 80% brick, no trailers, nothing like that. So to try to keep higher class of house, on the front strip. And then once those deed restrictions were thrown out the window, people moved in junky trailers and all kinds of other stuff. The people who've been there for 30 plus years all still have nice houses set up, but everything that's in the last 20, just did whatever the hell they wanted, and that sucks. So in some ways I appreciate HOAs. Other times they're just, what those words are.
Yeah. Ours isn't super bad, but the main problem we've had is that, like in the past, we've gotten like things saying they're trying to tell us that something is not in compliance with like our yard, but the note that they send us is like either the grass is too tall, the edging isn't done, or the bushes are not trimmed, and it's like a whole list of things. It's like, okay, well, what is it that we're doing wrong that you're not happy with? Because that's a whole list of stuff. Some of it doesn't apply to us. What the heck are you asking us to do?
It's like, what hedges? It's like, we don't have any hedges. We don't even have a tree anymore. All we have is grass, and it's the same length as everyone else's.
Though the HOA is part of the reason we're repainted, because we got a note from them saying that there was a complaint that the sides of our house were looking a little dirty.
Okay.
And we're now, with seeing stuff going on, we're fairly certain that our neighbor is the one who called in the complaint.
Yep.
Actually, what's funny is you pointed, and I think that's the exact direction where that neighbor is.
I know the orientation of your house. I even took into consideration that I'm mirrored to what you're sitting. Actually, technically speaking, it would be in front of you. The way you're out.
No, the front.
No,
the
that's
front
the
door
direction.
is...
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. You're facing the other way. Your little window. Yeah. I'm thinking of the other side. I'm thinking of your bedroom, which is yeah. It's hard though. Like, it's like, can we point out anything wrong with you, Mr. Throwing stones at glass houses? It's just like, come on.
Yeah, but we're just no more friendly conversation with that dude. We're gonna stay away, and if he does try coming at us again, there's gonna be problems.
Well, he definitely shouldn't be coming over and harassing the people painting your house.
Yeah, because for one, they don't have any control. They're not going to know if we have permission from the HOA. They're just
they're there to do a job. Yeah, they're just there to do the job. Dead complaint: the dead tree keeps eating the HOA inspectors.
What's funny is because the stump is there, there's actually it had a hole inside the stump. So I could easily see that being like some sort of weird urban starlight pit or something.
You can make
HOA inspector comes up, somebody tentacle comes over, pulls them down.
See, what you do is you plant a new tree in the hole of the old one.
We've actually thought about that.
I think it'd be funny, and they'll come after you for planting a new tree without permission. It's like, technically, it's inside the stump of the previous tree. They're like, ha! It's a pre-existing tree.
We don't necessarily have to get permission to put in a tree. The main thing is we have to have at least like one tree or large plant in front of the house or something like that. So we still have we still have the one on the side of the house, which eventually we need to get rid of because it's way too close to the house. It's probably doing things we don't want to think about to the foundation.
Probably. See, I would definitely put up a hedge wall between you and that neighbor. Like, you can't put a fence there, I assume, just the way that is. Be like, hedge wall. See, it looks nice, and I
That
don't
would,
have to look at that guy anymore.
and see I could see that starting something because he had some sort of arrangement with the previous owners of the house
Uh-huh.
where basically he would mow and take care of the grass basically going up to our side of the house. So
Yeah.
that way he could have everything be all consistent with his
All the way
yard.
up to the edge of your driveway.
Yeah. And to basically the side of our house. And that also is so like that bush is technically his, I guess.
Depends on what the
But
property line is.
yeah, but he
I mean,
takes care of it. So if we tried to change
but
that up, I would
But
probably
if y'all's fence line at the property line, like how it normally goes, you have on that line, you could do whatever you want as long as it's on the HOA rules and nobody gives a crap what that guy says. It's not his property. I'd be like, you stay off my property. Don't talk to anyone on my property. And do not sit here and tell me what I'm doing wrong when I have permission. So bye. This is not your house. Like, this is not your house. I agree that you had a previous existing relationship. The one you have now is not that great.
Yeah.
It sounds like for a while, like the previous neighbors were like, I bet there came a time where they're like, okay, we just got to let him do what he wants or he's just going to harass us to death.
I don't know. He also retired recently. So part of me wonders if part of this is like he just has way too much time on his hand now.
Yeah. Oh, so Joan said that he claimed the side yard more or less. Oh, good. He can pay taxes on it. Like, oh, he can claim it all he likes, but if you are paying taxes on it, it's yours, and he has no say in it. See, that's just how I am.
Does give us one less piece of grass to worry about.
Piece of grass. No, my worry is that it's his worry. What you're doing to his house, your house, ruins his somehow.
He's made noise about potentially moving out because he retired now and he doesn't really need a big house. And that is something we've wondered is like he's planning on selling the house and he's worried that we're gonna look too junky next to him or something. Whatever.
Oh, good. He can sell. We'll move in. See, we'll move in next door. There we go. Yeah, you gave him home cured bacon, and he's still giving you guys crap.
Yeah,
no,
right?
No.
That's stopping. There's no more bacon for that, dude.
I want some more bacon.
You gotta wait. It's way too hot for us to try to do the cold smoke outside, unless you want like bacteria-infected bacon, which probably not good eats.
Yeah, I know I'm being petty. I know it's just frustrating how he acts. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, look at what my parents have to deal with next door. You know, people who were definitely the richer people in the neighborhood, you know, had their own successful business, had a good plot of land, took care of their parents, bought them land and stuff nearby. So basically, when we all moved out there, it was like 3 families. It was ours, the next one's over, and then this other family, and we all had huge, different chunks of the neighborhood, so to speak. So at one point there was literally, we were all kind of, there was like 3 sections, we all got along because we all lived next door to each other until this guy decided to, and I've told this story before, raise his entire yard by a foot.
He raised
he brought in over 100 truckloads of dirt, raised their entire yard a foot so that no water would ever stand on it. And guess where all that water has to go? On everyone else's land. So like the first time they, and we got we had a good fence between us. Most of the time it was chain link, but then they put up a wood slat fence, 6-foot wood slat fence. Yeah. And then as soon as we couldn't see what they were doing, they started bringing in all these truckloads of dirt and then resodded and everything like that, built a whole new raised yard, and then started basically flooding us out and my cousin and aunt on the opposite side of them. And then they raised the ditch so that no water would stay in front of their house. So water won't pass through, it goes away. So they actually impeded the flow of water for the neighborhood. And on top of that, they put in a a big pond in the backyard between their house and their parents' house behind them, with a fountain and all that stuff, you know, to keep air circulating or keep it aerated. To have an excess drain for that, he ran like 1,000-foot pipe with a pump from that pond just in case the level got too high, and ran it all the way to the ditch, so that if the pond started getting too high from rain, it pumped it into the ditch. So that water now became other people's problem instead of theirs. It was not Jaburo dirt, Joey. It was not Jaburo. But like these people, and then the guy, once he retired, he just hanging out around the house, doesn't like squirrels eating at his roof. So he just pulls out his little shotgun and starts shooting at the squirrels on the roof in whatever direction it happens to be.
Oh no.
Yeah, literally just firing off shotguns. Like, I mean, mind you, small gauge, but shotgun, you know, even if it's, you know, bird shot, you know, it's still being fired in the air at whoever, you know. And we hear this with the neighbors. I mean,
like the danger of the stuff hitting people aside. I mean, the sound is
property damage, and you do it at, you know, middle of the day or into the evening. Whenever he saw one, he'd just go grab the gun and shoot at it. You know, and my parents my dad had guns, small caliber, mind you, but never firing into the air. Usually firing at a stray dog or snakes or whatever. Never in the direction of people or houses. You know, and then once people moved in behind them, even though there's a tree barrier, still wouldn't fire that direction.
No,
you know,
that's just proper safety.
This idiot is literally on his back porch firing a shotgun at squirrels nibbling at his roof in the middle of the day when people are on all sides, including his own family, little kids, his grandkids running around, and he's outside shooting a freaking shotgun at squirrels. It's just like, oh my God, the nerve of these people. More money than sense.
Right.
Why have they never said more dollars than cents? Yeah.
Because dollar isn't super universal.
I guess that's true, but you know, if it's an American saying or an English saying, more dollars than cents. It's kind of like the wolf in sheep's clothing, or a wolf in sheep's clothing should just be called a wolf. Or wolf. Doesn't get more America than that, I guess. But that's why there are gun laws, and they called the cops on him, and they didn't do anything because they have to catch him in the act.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, okay, well, you've got everyone around him claiming that this is what he's doing. It's like you have to at least talk to him about it, you know. I mean, like we had to take my dad's guns away for safety. Speaking of which, I need to talk about getting those. Because I want to get a gun, but I don't want to buy one if I don't have to.
Right. You got one sitting
transfer.
someplace with family that don't need it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, need but shouldn't use. But either way, I don't know. The way this world's going, it's crazy. Anyways, not getting into that. Just saying. But yeah, right. No, it's just, you know, we got to go over there later and just deal with the stresses of things. Happy Father's Day. I guess we'll have to stop and get him a witty card on the way there. More pounds than pence. That's more funny. Pounds. Is that Mike Pence? I go Dutch every day. Been so for nearly 27 years now. Okay. Laura's in the Netherlands. Yeah. Must be nice. Home defense, I would suggest a shotgun. Yeah, I agree, except for when you're defending your house against squirrels.
Yeah, that's not.
When it was more country, I could understand that, but it's become far more packed and residential now. And that's assuming he was using birdshot. If he wasn't, then God knows how far those rounds are going before they come down.
Mhm.
You know, not to mention he's actually shooting at his own house, technically speaking.
Yeah, that's the other part I'm scratching my head. Is like wouldn't that do more damage than a squirrel chewing at your shingles? I don't.
Who knows, dude? I didn't know that was an actual problem. Apparently it is.
I mean, I know. I
Chew
remember
really thick
at
shingles.
the house I grew up in, we had an issue where we're fairly certain some squirrels had gotten into the attic, and they chewed up a bunch of Christmas ornaments and stuff like that because they were in cardboard boxes, not plastic.
Yeah. A knife is always great, Hita, except for when you need to stop somebody who's over there. A knife doesn't keep people from coming in. People don't tend to run from a knife if they can help it. I have swords in here technically for home defense purposes. But if it came down to it, I'm reaching for the gun, not the sword.
Mm.
I don't want to shoot anybody. But if it makes them run away, I'm down for it. I have fake guns, which I'm definitely not going to go out and brandish in public because that's not a good. They look way too real.
No.
I was going to say, you have never seen my airsoft guns. My MP5 looks like a real legit MP5. It has real weight. And it's all metal, but it's airsoft.
I haven't seen yours, but I have seen pictures of airsoft guns, and I'm impressed with how realistic they look.
Yeah, and then
not something I want to have hanging around my house, but
at least my Glock has the red cap on the end of it.
Yeah.
So like you can't mistake that for a real gun, except if you look at it in hand, it looks and feels like a real Glock. Like it's not, but it, not to mention it's not one that most people could have anyways. So it's the G17 or G18, the one that had full auto on it. Gotta love full a gun, a select fire handgun that actually has full auto as an option. Like, that was not allowed for normal people, and this is an airsoft version. I'm like, yes, I want that, please, thank you. I have 45 in the truck and a 12 gauge at home. I already had a gun in the truck, Eric. I want to play. I haven't gone to a shooting range in a long time. I always enjoyed it. Airsoft is a good substitute as long as it's not obvious that it's an airsoft gun. You could definitely scare somebody away with it.
Yeah, so don't bust out the clear plastic ones.
No, but that is why they were clear plastic. Like these were high quality ones.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the batteries are dead, so they're not going to fire anyways. The two MP5s I have are battery powered. The Glock is gas powered, and I have no gas for it.
That's like little CO2 cartridges or something.
No, it has a built-in cartridge in the clip.
Okay.
So you actually have to charge it with a can.
Okay.
What they used to call green gas. I don't even know if that's even still around. So I don't even know if I could refill it, technically speaking. I just really enjoy it. Actually, I've got two. Where are they anyways? I think I showed them off before. Hold on. Now that we're on the subject, I just want to pull, because I can get to the handguns. I can't get to the other ones. Hold on. We're on a really weird topic now. Oh, where did I move them to? Entertain the people, Thomas.
We can look at the stuff I got again. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. I don't have access to those. They're buried.
You can hear my son.
My little gun case for them is buried under all the boxes I just put in there. I thought I left it accessible. It is not. I will show them off later. I know I've pulled them out before for other reasons, but I've got one that's so I've got the Glock, and then I have one, I think it's called a Darkhawk, actually.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
At least to me, because of Darkhawk, the superhero. But
yeah, it looks like a cross between a Glock and a Smith & Wesson, but it's got a chrome top and then a gray lower. Real nice. It's also gas
Closest
powered.
I've come to anything like that is I have my G1 Megatron reissue, and I
Yeah.
have a Nerf blaster. A Nerf
Yes, but
rifle.
that's a Walther. That's a Walther.
A Walther P38.
Yes, it is. I wouldn't mind one of those. They're nice little guns. Walthers are pretty decent guns. I'm personally a Glock fan. Smith & Wesson is nice too, but it is what it is.
Worse than a man from Uncle.
There you go. Let's see here. Well, true, but on this side of the world, any gun looks real since no one normally has them. That's true. You say MP5. I heard MP05. Nope, not one of those. Actually, it would probably be a bad idea if I pulled those out in the live stream. They'll probably demonetize me for showing off a gun. It's like, no, it's not real. It's not real.
Which one was Masterpiece 05? Was that Megatron?
Oh God. I think no, he was MPO6, I think, or MPO8. Wait, the first MP Megatron?
The first MP Megatron.
Wait, did he have an old MP? I thought he didn't get one until MP36.
No, he had an old MP that wasn't that great. The legs were really skinny, and the feet, the metal on the feet and stuff would rust.
Let me look. MP05. Yeah, it was Megatron.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Ironically. But he was not.
I remember there was a big deal with that because there's all the laws in America about selling realistic toy guns. So Big Bad Toy Store was actually having to go in, open up the packaging, put in a little orange plug, supposedly super gluing it in place.
I think some of them they did for sure. Others I don't know, because I remember you could buy it without it on different stores. They would advertise without the orange plug. Then there were ones that came later, even in the third party sector, where they had to start complying. But like, if I remember correctly, MP36 does come with a barrel plug or a cap, but obviously you can remove it for purposes. But that's really obvious. That's not a real gun. Like, that's so panely.
Because the new MP Megatron is huge in hand, isn't it? It's like,
I don't know. I don't think it's that big. He's not oversized.
Well, it's like it's slightly bigger.
I mean, it's bigger than
it's not 1-to-1. It's like
no. It's like, close, but no, it's not the right size for, because a P38 is not a big gun.
No,
it's a little compact guy.
German, isn't it, or something like that?
If I think the G1 Megatron is almost 1-to-1 size.
I would be fairly certain that because he comes from the micro change line, where the idea was everything was a 1-to-1 scale thing. So Soundwave was a 1-to-1 scale micro cassette recorder. The cassette box were micro cassettes, not.
And the wristwatch one was the size of a wristwatch. Yeah. So no, he's original G1 Megatron is definitely the size of a normal Walther P38, which is not a big gun in the first place. Because I think James Bond used one there for a little while before he changed to later guns.
I thought he has like his was like a 7 or something.
That's right, P7.
Yeah, the only reason I know that is because it's of the GoldenEye game in 64.
I think at one point they might have used one, but I think there's something about the now we're learning about guns. There you go. We still have better than Australia. Australia's a mess. But some people can have guns. Not everybody can have guns. But they had a whole big problem in Australia. That's why they don't have guns anymore. I think that Han Solo's blaster is based off of Walther, if I remember correctly.
I know it's uses the base of it is a model kit of a real gun.
Yeah.
Because I remember
it was used in other movies as well prior to that. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, because I know Adam Savage went over all that
Yep.
on one of his videos where he was building a kit for it.
Yeah, they did that when Norm brought the kit to build the Han Solo blaster in.
And there's the people that collect those kinds of model kits and stuff actually dislike the Star Wars fans because they always buy up.
They keep buying up
whenever
guns, yeah.
And then tear them apart to basically turn them into Han Solo blasters.
I'm trying to remember what the base of the gun is. Okay, so it was okay. Well, the gun itself is a DL-44. That's what Han Solo's gun.
Yeah,
is,
that's what it's called in the universe.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's not the same kind of Walther because the rounded handle, but I'm trying to remember.
And as I mentioned before, the Walther P-38 is used in, I think it's a TV show called The Man from U.N.C.L.E. or something like that. And in fact, the full Megatron setup with the stock and the barrel extension and the scope.
That's a real thing, yeah. To some degree.
In Japan, they never really released Megatron with all those extra accessories.
Yeah.
At least originally. But in Microchange, they released that as like the Man from U.N.C.L.E. edition or something like that. And it's a really weird incongruity between the American line and the Japanese line.
Hey, here's the Etsy store where you can buy all the parts to convert to make a DL-44. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it. But that's an interesting gun because that particular gun could do the same thing where it could be converted to a rifle and stuff like that. So pretty neat. Now they're talking about the MP05. But yeah, no, the reason I actually like the actual weapon, the MP5, the reason I'm a fan of that is from the early seasons of Stargate SG-1 because that's what they used before switching to the
Stinger,
the P90.
okay.
P90?
You're talking about the real one. Yeah, because you're talking about like the rifle that they had that hung in front of them.
Yeah, so they switched to the P90s, which is a British design, I believe, either British or Israeli, I forget. But that's also a really strange gun in the fact that it's the bullets are loaded or rounds are loaded at a 90-degree angle. That's why it's called a 90. So the bullets, like the cartridge, if you ever see them snapping it in, it goes on the top and they snap it in. They actually will flip to load. They actually go down and load in. And I believe that's also a bullpup design. So that they actually go in, the cartridge goes this way towards the back. So it gets a longer shot with a tiny snub barrel. One, that's a really neat weapon. I've always wanted one. Except we get the PS90, if I remember correctly, over here. So it'd have to be a little bit different, not automatic or anything like that. It'd have to be, I think the S stands for semi-automatic. I was into guns for a long time. But the MP5 is like a really cool basic gun. I mean, it's a very nice little machine gun. Even the airsoft one I have is select fire. So you can go single round, 3-round burst, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Not to mention it's the Navy edition. So it has full rails on all of it. So I actually have a laser scope and stuff like that on it. Laser sight and things on it. So it's made 1-to-1 scale. It's made of all metal. It has the same select fire, all that stuff. If it wasn't for an orange cap on the end, or the fact that the is it the handle? Oh, the battery actually goes in the little handle out front. Like, so it goes on the rail, so the battery's inside that handle. But because
that's kind of the way of doing it.
Yeah, so the battery is actually hanging out the bottom ever so much because it's just not enough room. So like that's the only part that really makes it not look like an actual gun is there's a battery kind of sticking out the bottom of the handle out front. But that's one of my favorite things to play with. Like we used to fire them up every now and then, no pun intended, in my my first apartment. So we had a microwave box full of phone books, just because how trash stacks up, they always just throw you a phone book for no reason every other month. So we had the microwave on the side of the box, and so our goal was to shoot out just the little window of the microwave. Okay. And so it was me and 2 of my buddies. So we each had a gun. So 2 MP5s, and then my Glock, all on full auto fire. And like within 15 seconds, we had that thing completely shot out.
I remember
it was a ton
as
of fun.
Kid.
I said it was a ton of fun.
I remember as a kid, one of my friends had a BB gun, and so what we would sometimes do is go in. One of us had a really long backyard because of the way the lots were designed.
Yeah.
I remember we would set up action figures and then like try to see if we could knock them down with the BB gun.
Mm-hmm. No, we did that too because once again I grew up after we moved out of the city.
We were on acreage.
We had acreage, so even though my dad, it took a while, but my dad got a 22 rifle and a 22 pistol, so little guys, and those were usually what we used for shooting turtles and snakes, basically. That was the only real purpose for them. Never for home defense. Never needed it for that. It was pulled on people like twice in my life, to make them go away, so to speak. But then mostly it was for that, or we'd set up a target in the backyard up against the trees and shoot at it like that. But then like BB guns, I had several growing up. Had the good old Daisy rifle and stuff like that. And my friends would come over. Yep, shoot your eye out. I had a later version of that. But we would do the same thing: set up cans on fence post or whatever. Shoot at your cans, shoot at cups or whatever, or figures, something like that. But I think that's where airsoft gets a little bit more fun because, like, the technology advanced so much.
Mm-hmm.
But that was more about accuracy. Like, I actually put a real rifle scope on my BB gun and actually had it sighted really well.
Oh, nice.
So one of the very few times I actually killed an animal with a BB gun. It was kind of on accident, kind of on purpose. So, and it's the only time I've killed a squirrel. So literally I'm walking down the yard. I'm just got my gun. I'm just going to go shoot some stuff in the ditch. And there's a squirrel, like, just hopping tree to tree, right? And so all I did was just sight it in, just kind of vaguely at its head, and pop. And then I just kept walking. And then I hear, I'm like, and I saw it fall out of the tree. I'm like, and I didn't even pump it up a lot. Like, I think I only pumped it like 3 times, basic pump level. I'm like, what? And it wasn't a pellet. It was just a normal BB. And I go and check it out. It is dead. It's not even flopping. It is dead. And then I look at it up close and it's bleeding from its ear. I'm like, did I literally just like just right in the head, right in the ear, and killed a squirrel? I was like, how? I'm like, the only other cool animal kill prior to that was me and my buddy were out at the pond shooting at turtles, mind you, BB guns, not real guns, just whatever. And we saw a tiny little snake in the water. Like, he was literally head up at top of the water, dang body down the rest of the thing. And we're standing on 2 opposite corners of this, right? We literally cut it in half with our shots.
Oh, wow.
Like, we're both aiming at it from different directions, and we just go, and then it's literally cut in half. We're like, okay, all right, that's a thing that just happened. I miss that. I miss playing with BB guns. That was fun.
I remember a coworker telling me once where his family, they let him learn how to use weapons and stuff like that, but they were still fairly strict with things.
Yeah.
And he used one of their guns to kill a squirrel.
Yeah.
And his mom or dad found out, and they were livid because basically they said, I think one of the rules is like, you're not, unless you're like protecting the home or something like that, you don't point something at an animal unless you're planning on eating it.
Yeah.
Guess what you're having for lunch now?
They made him eat the squirrel.
They made him eat the squirrel.
That's funny. See, I just wasn't allowed to aim at creatures that weren't invading creatures, so to speak. Run off other people's dogs and stuff like that. Nothing major. And a BB gun at a dog is generally not going to do much damage unless it's just that perfect shot, just to annoy them and scare them off. So I was not allowed to shoot at birds or squirrels or stuff like that. I did occasionally, but never with intent to kill. And that was the only time I killed a squirrel. I'm like, I'm gonna go put the gun away real quick. And mind you, I was like in my teens.
Yeah.
I was like in my teens, and I'm still worried about this. I've had this gun like most of my life at that point. And I was taught to respect weapons and things like that, and eventually learning how to use real higher caliber guns and stuff like that. Haven't shot a real rifle in a while. I need to go to the rifle range just for fun. Because I would go like monthly with my cop buddy,
right?
Because he would get in for free because it was like free
For
cop
training
day.
and stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I still had to pay full price, but I got to play with his stuff. I wouldn't have to rent anything occasionally.
Oh, that's cool.
But we never went to the rifle range. But you know what really sucks? When you're on the handgun range, which is shorter, it's meant for handguns, and some a-hole brings his shotgun in there to use it instead of taking it to the rifle range.
No.
Yeah. Nothing like standing there, doing what you got to do, and somebody fires a shotgun 3 stalls over. Scared the living everything out of everyone. Because you didn't know. He just comes in with a bag. He snaps
so
it together.
Like, okay, he's got stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And good God, man. Like, nothing prepares you for that kick. Like, just the boom, It's like the rifle range is meant for that. I don't know why they didn't put him in the rifle range. We wanted to complain, but like, hey, dude, you can't do that in here. It's like, I don't care if it's a pistol grip. Take it over next. It had to have been because his bag was not that big. His bag was like this, so he had to have a pistol grip. You just don't do that, man. That's just not good. But unfortunately, like the last time we took my dad to the range, he was just like not following the rules, so we had to actually stop him. He didn't do anything particularly bad, but he would have got us kicked out if we weren't minding him. So he would. Just for those who don't know, most gun ranges, there's safety requirements. You got to have ear protection, you got to have eye protection, and you only load the gun when you're up to shoot, and you shoot until it's empty, and you never turn the weapon back towards anyone behind you ever. And my dad would shoot, and then he'd take his gun without removing the clip or anything, even if it was empty, and he'd turn around and go put his thing back in the bag. So, whoa, like the rest, like there's 4 of us. We're like, hey, old man, stop that. Like, you can't do that. You have to completely unload it. You got to do all this stuff. And he wasn't used to that type of range. He'd gone to other ones, but that's a general rule of courteous and safetyness.
Yeah. A friend of mine used to run a shooting range for scout camps.
Oh, nice. And we never learned that in Scouts.
What's that?
So that's one thing we didn't learn in Scouts, at least while I was there.
Yeah, I think the last time I did any shooting was in Scouts for my marksmanship badge or something like that, which I don't think I got because I'm a horrible shot.
Yeah. See, look, he says Lore says the rules are the same over there.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to ranges. It's like, yeah, you never, even if it's loaded or not, you don't point the gun backwards. It's like you put it back in your bag on the thing, you close your bag, and then you go. You never keep it in hand when you're turning away, because nobody knows if that's whatever.
Exactly.
And so he did that twice, and we're like, you're done. We can't let you keep doing this. And he's like, okay. Plus, the only thing I hate about it when we go is you're generally firing range rounds, and they are so dirty. Like, that is like the crappiest powder and everything. Like, I saw my dad's gun. You usually clean the guns afterwards. It was clean when we went in there. It was filthy. Like, internally, it's so
smoke and everything everywhere.
Yeah, and like the smell, like it's one of those things that like when you've done it enough, you can tell the difference. So with my cop buddy, he's firing off his excess rounds. He didn't have to bring in extras, or have to buy extras or range rounds. And oh my God, like the difference in just the smell, like the same caliber bullet and all that stuff is just like gross. Like you can't breathe after a while. Yeah, you don't ever turn the gun in the range. Yep, safety. Yep. So even that shotgun idiot. I'm like, come on, man. I know it's a shotgun, but please, everybody, at least tell everybody in the room what you're doing. Like you walk in, go, hey guys, I'm going to be shooting a shotgun. Prepare. It's like nothing prepares you for surprise shotgun. So, I
No
guess
one expects a surprise shotgun.
no one expects the Spanish shotgun. So I guess that's true, Eric. Yeah, you usually keep a shotgun for home defense, even though I believe ARs have replaced that necessity, so to speak. One last gun story, if I might, since we're on a
Go
rant.
for it.
So back with my ex-best friend, when we used to hang out, he had lots of acreage. Like my parents had just, short acreage. So, but he's got like big property in the middle of nowhere. So we could definitely go in the back and shoot, no problem, right?
Right.
So we take his variety of guns. So he had like a 45, a 41 mag, which is a pretty rare gun nowadays, but like basically a hand cannon, kind of like Dirty Harry had.
Okay.
That thing, like you almost couldn't fire it one-handed. It was just that powerful. We took his 12 gauge and 22s just to go out back and just have some fun, right?
Right.
So we're back where the old horse stalls and stuff used to be, because they had horses for a little while, so they got everything still set up there. Old wood, the best thing you could possibly have for setting up targets. So we just had some fun shooting off stuff, and then we're like, okay, let's have a little competition here. So there's a post, and we've got some expended shotgun shells, right? So we've got four expended shells, and we've got a 4-round 22. So we set up 2 shells, and you got to try to knock them down, right? So he fires all 4 shots, never hits one of them. And mind you, we're only at like 20 feet.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. Somehow not a windy day. I don't even know. Like nothing was blowing over. So like he keeps claiming that he's better than me at everything. He's one of those guys. So he misses. I think he knocked one over because he clipped the post, right?
Right.
Clipped the post and knocked it off that way. And, shotgun shells are not that big. It's smaller than mini Tolf. And so I'm like, okay, give me the gun. So yeah, I'm used to a 22 rifle. And so I'm like, pop, and I was low, so I adjusted up, knocked it over. Pop, too low, pop, knocked it over. And I'm like, just handed it back to him. I was like, go clean it up. I was like, you'll sit here and talk trash, and then I clean it up after you. It's like, no. You don't get to do that.
Nice.
We always had that friendly rivalry for the longest time, except he could never admit when I was better at him than things. Especially video games. That was fun. So I do need to go to the range sometime soon, just because it's fun. Get out some steam. And the wifey has never really shot a gun, so I told her we should go for that. They have date nights. The one I go to, they had date nights where women shot free, or ladies got to shoot for free. So that's pretty neat. And women should know how to handle a weapon as well. You never know what situation you're going to be in. I told her we could get her a tiny little pink 40 cal. It'd be funny. Mic drop shotgun edition. That's funny. No, we weren't. Yeah, but we weren't shooting shotguns. We were shooting rifles.
Or shotgun shell edition.
We were shooting at shotgun shells. So they're like, it's like, sorry. And by the way, that was with no scope. That's just sights. That was just built on sights. I like how nobody even cares. They're like, we got 8 people watching and only Laura's commenting. That's funny. I know we went off totally random tangent, but I would like to show off my airsoft guns one of these days. It's just gonna probably be on like Facebook Live or something, because
where you're
so iffy about
the power of Google doesn't come down on you.
Yeah, ladies' nights, free shots. Yes, yes, it's perfect. Why they never put it that way? I bet there's got to be gun ranges that have that. Except technically speaking, it's just the rental is free. You still got to pay for rounds, and that gets expensive. I think with gun rental, buying a case of rounds, and the hour we were there, I think I spent like $95 one day. just for me.
Mm.
And so, I mean, they make money. It's fun. We should go one day. That'd be fun. Take you to the gun range. Like, let's test out all those years of gaming. Be like, I'd be good with a Pokeball.
I like first person shooter games and stuff like that, but the problem is I'm also not very good at them,
I know, I'm just picking on.
particularly against other people.
So this would be like a competition series for you and me. It's like we'll go do like silly real world one-on-one competitions. We'll go to the shooting range one day. We'll go to like mini golf another day. Karting another day. See who's a better driver. And we'll just apply it to like video games. That may be funny. Done axe throwing at Ren Fair. Oh, I've never tried axe throwing, and I've always wanted to. Wait, axe throwing or hatchets? Because it's two different things. I give all the credit in the world to guys who can throw a legit axe.
I think I've done hatchet throwing like once or twice at like Ren Fair or something like that.
Yeah. Paintballing. See, I've never liked paintballing because I'm not into the first part of that. Pain. Now I had a paintball set. I had a pretty nice paintball gun and setup. I just, other than playing at like one of my birthday parties at our house, I've never gone to play, and that sucked. Like, I got hit. I got out twice, 2 games back to back. One, my buddy went for a headshot like a jerk and hit the side of my helmet and just went, And then the next time I'm sitting there, around the corner of a building, and my buddy runs by and just goes and hits me across the thighs.
Ooh.
Like, I had chest armor on. He hits me across the thighs, and all I've got is like a pair of pants and jeans. So some padding. And I was like, luckily he didn't hit any higher, but still he hit right across my thighs. I was done. Like, those welts sucked. And that wasn't even like a high powered gun. Let's see, hold on. Aren't axes and hatchets in the same class? No, because an axe is like a big guy. Like, if you could throw a legit like full size axe, like a fire axe, which is usually what they're throwing, usually overhead. Hatchets are like, a hammer that has a blade on it.
Yeah.
Hatchet throwing is awesome. It's like, that's your home defense right there. You literally have like 6 hatchets right next to your bedroom door. So if somebody's coming up, you're just like, you just take down the intruders with hatchets. Can you imagine? Imagine the cops come in. What did you do? Like, a man was hatcheted to death in a home invasion. I don't think that's ever been on the news, but I would not want to break into Jason Momoa's house because he could legit do that to you. Have you ever seen the videos of him?
Need a weapon.
Huh? Say what?
I don't think Jason Momoa would need a weapon. He's probably.
Dude, have you never seen him chug beer and throw hatchets? That was a classic video before like Aquaman days. It's like,
whatever. It's like we see him chug a beer and then he just like not even looking, he chunks one and it goes
and nails right in the middle. He literally chugs a huge beer and then like hurls a hatchet, chugs another beer, hurls a hatchet. I'm like, I don't know where this is happening, but it seems like the best party ever. And the fact that he was like accurate was even better. And another hole in the door. Like, yeah, you missed. But that's where you set a target. Oh, that'd be funny. There's your practice. Like, you've practiced throwing from that position, so you have a target, like, say around the corner of your hallway, so that you can always nail somebody, like center chest. So you sit there and practice just in case you ever have a home invasion and you have to hatchet them to death from your bedroom door. I guarantee it, that's hilarious. I want to see that like animated.
Of course, I remember a friend of mine growing up, when I knew him in high school, he pointed out to me that he always made sure he had a knife somewhere within like arm's reach of pretty much anywhere he was at in his room.
Dude, that sucks.
Ooh.
Dude, that could be like brain damage if you're not careful. Oh, frozen paintballs. I hate those guys. Like my cousin Charlie worked a paintball field forever. Like that was his other side job.
Mhm.
He would go and play, but then he got in good with them, so he eventually became a ref. And they would have to pat people down to make sure they didn't have frozen paintballs and stuff. You know, some people try to sneak them in, even though they, you know, usually bought there at the field. Or people would turn up their pressure, you know, because everything was generally set when you came in, but some people would sneak tools and they crank their pressure up like jerks.
That's not cool.
No, that's definitely not cool. That's why I was never into paintball. Airsoft, I could see doing airsoft, you know, as a similar sport. So if you're generally not going to get hurt, depending on where you get hit, you know, I got shot a couple times with mine. You know, at a distance, the velocity is essentially gone, and it's such a small thing. Not to mention plastic versus, you know, liquid. Bear skin in the winter, no, screw you. That never. Why anybody would do that to themselves is insane.
I've never done airsoft or paintball, but I remember back in high school doing laser tag.
Laser tag is fun when they have the real good guns, not the ones that are just like proximity based. Like the ones you legit have to really aim.
Yeah.
You know, and hit with a real laser pulse. Those are the good ones. I can appreciate those. The ones where you're just close enough and you pull the trigger and it sets off.
No, because you can. I mean, with the smoke and stuff like that, you could see the infrared beam, and or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And because it was like an actual, I think it was Laser Quest or something like that was the location we used to go to.
Sounds familiar.
I have no idea. I mean, they were a franchise that was all over the place, at least for a little while, towards late 90s, early 2000s. I know I did a couple of birthdays there and a few times where we're just the friends got together and like, you know what, let's go do Laser Quest. And
yeah, I've done proper laser tag once, and I believe that was okay. So I think that was when I took Tara to Incredible Pizza. And some other kid, I think, was having a birthday party, and we just, you know, joined in because they were doing a huge laser tag session and we needed a couple more people.
Yeah.
And it was legit one of those things where it's like, okay, so I'm the only real adult that's in there. Everyone else is like 12-year-olds.
Right.
So, like, I had most of the score of our team. So, like, I had probably double what everybody else had, score-wise. But then there was, like, one kid on the other team that was the same. Like, he had all the points. I just, like, and I knew who he was because I could see him getting the kills and the thing. So I was, you know, usually looking for him. Because, you know, it was one of those ones where it's just, you know, point-based, not you're out after a certain amount of time. Like the ones that deactivate the guns after you're dead. And so I was just like, it was we still won because of me, but that kid was like ridiculous on his side. And that's the only time. And it was like a 2-story deal too. So, you know, it was almost like, you know, like a Halo level, you know, you got stuff you can duck behind, blind corner.
Yeah.
You go up to the second story, stuff like that. I kept getting hit by people camping, you know, literally the kids who would camp and then wait for you to come around the corner. And then, just, you know, that was the most annoying thing.
Okay. Wife's letting me know.
Yeah, we should soon. It's fine. Well, we don't get to talk that often anymore. We're making use of the time. It's fine. We'll go a few more minutes, but I think that we should do one of these like challenge days. I think it would be fun. Like when we can get out and about in the world again.
Not worry about sickening ourselves and everyone around us.
Well, I think there's certain places that are potentially fine for that. But I think it would be fun because there's a blacklight mini golf course right near here.
That could be cool.
That I have not done since like high school, or somewhere thereabouts. It was fun last time I saw it, but like, and it's all indoors, so no heat. It's nice. And then there's lots of karting tracks, and I've wanted to go karting, like proper high speed go karting for a while, and like I think like a three race thing is only like $60 or something. if I remember correctly, and I think they're kind of hurting, so they might be working deals. Just depending on which one you go to. I think there's 3 just here up in my neck of the woods.
I want to say there's an indoor go-karting thing not too far from
No, there is. I know which one you're talking about.
track 21 or
Yeah,
something like that.
There's that one, and there's another one that's down there that I think they're in an old Walmart or an old Kmart. Kind of like,
Wouldn't surprise me.
like, because the ones in Incredible Pizza kind of suck. It's like, even though they're using real gas powered ones, the carts are slow and the track isn't very big. I want one that can go 40, 50 miles an hour outside if possible, or a really nice indoor one with some high speed carts. Just to see if I'm as good as I think I'll be. So let's see here. Ben R, I've had some good nights going lock-ins at Blazer Laser Tag. Nice.
Okay.
Good old lock-in.
Sounds super 90s.
Yeah, for sure. They don't do lock-ins anymore.
Hold on a sec. We're wrapping things up now.
Oh.
That was the boy asking how long are the stream is going for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the wifey is also like, God, he's been in there forever. So we still have to clean up around here. Some of the stuff will be really quick, other stuff not so much. So I'm not looking forward to the rest of this day.
I made sure to put all the stuff in.
Oh no.
What?
Ben says, have you ever been indoor kart drifting when they put PVC pipes on the rear wheels and you just slide everywhere? No, that doesn't sound fun. That sounds terrible. See, I'm not into drifting. To me, if you're sliding, you're going slow. You're supposed to carry your speed through the corner, not be sliding. But that's just me. That's my kind of racing. It's like, if I'm out there racing, I'm there to win, not slide sideways. And you always get those jerks who know the track better than you, so they grab the fastest car, so to speak. And
so they know which card is the good one.
Yeah. Like there was, I don't know if you ever heard of Mountasia. I don't know if they had those. It was a small that's what I'm looking for, franchise. So it was like Incredible Pizza, but they had an arcade, they had laser tag, they had karting, and they had mini golf outside.
We had Celebration Station in the Austin area.
Yeah, so same deal, but I think they existed at the same time because there was a Celebration Station here. But Mountasia was newer because they called it that because outside the mini golf course went over a big fake mountain. So like you went up the mountain and then you had, all that kind of stuff. And they had a really nice outdoor track for the karts. Like it went up, it wound around the hill, like you went up and over the track, and it was actually really nice. But I think it was like car number 21 was definitely the fastest one. Like no one was keeping up with that car. Even if you were a terrible driver in that thing, no one was keeping up with you. And I got kicked out because we always went there for birthday parties and stuff. But then, we wanted to have arcade days or something like that back when people still went to arcades. I remember I got kicked off because I hit like, oh wait, no, that was actually, oh yeah, that's what it was. It was there. And it was a total accident. You're not supposed to make contact with anybody or anything like that, right?
Right.
So fairly clean race, bumped my buddy one time because he was going around the outside and just not on purpose, just, going around the corner, boom, but coming into when you come in to stop, everybody's got to pull into the same garage. So my buddy Jake is in front of me and he's basically coming to a stop. And, on those go-karts, it's brake, gas, right? I hit a spot. I was a little too tall for the cart I was in, so my knee locked up. And while I was trying to hit the brake, my knee went, and I hit the gas and the brake at the same time, and I rammed into him.
Oh,
in that thing. It's only like a 2 feet or so. You know, obviously we're just coming in, and I didn't mean to do it. It was totally on accident, but they like kicked me off and banned me from driving that day. You know, I'm like, dude, that was not on purpose. Why would I didn't do that on purpose. I'm literally just a hair too tall. You know, this is post puberty. You know, I was still in my growth spurt, and I was one of the taller kids in my class. That didn't last that long. And so it's just literally like my knee just, you know, I hit both pedals at the same time and ran into him. So that was an accident. I remember that. You know, he laughed it off, but you know, carts are never equal. There's always a ringer in every cart place. Only the employees know which one it is. Yeah, but there's also the guys who will like rig their carts when they go up to them. You know, pull something on the throttle or something like that so that it responds quicker. You know, it's usually a screw or a band that does all that anyways. Just it's the throttle response or how wide open the throttle will go. Because some of them just literally they're limited where they'll only go that far instead of all the way open. So it'll never go that fast, even if your foot is to the floor. That's where you can mess with them. But and then one last thing. Why do they ever put out people in the double carts with the people in the single carts? I've never understood that. Those aren't meant to go as fast. Why would you ever put them out like a mom and her kid out there with people who are legit racing? It's like there should be rounds just for that because you know they're not going to do anything dumb, and you don't have to worry about a slowpoke out on the track. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and say bye. Obviously, everybody go do what you got to do with your own father, or if you are a father, go enjoy time with your families. Even if you're a stepdad, that counts too.
Totally.
Been there, done that. Never got credit for it, so that sucks. So yay for all that, and then of course, if you just came in at the last, make sure you go back and rewatch the beginning where he had to open up a lot of stuff. I'll just leave it at that, because his wife finds it amusing, and we will need to get together. Fun. We will need to get together soon. It's been too long.
Yeah, once things are a little bit safer for everyone.
Space Cadets is opening for in-store events again. So they're taking all the necessary precautions, but we can actually reserve time and space now for if we want to have a build meet there. So I talked to him about it the other day. So we will have build meets again in person as soon as possible, as long as everybody follows the rules in doing so. So yay. So guys, stay out there, be safe, have a good one. Oh yeah, I also forgot we're supposed to be having some nasty weather later today, so everybody be safe with that. And yeah. It's your Father's Day. You can say the outro.
So I get to do the sign out first. So thank you very much for coming, and I'll see you next time you invade my shelf space.
Yes. And then keep on building this community together, because that's the only way we get through this is together, guys.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, do you need to plug something for Laura real quick?
Check out on Indiegogo, Cup of Tea. It's an anthology that our webcomic is part of it, along with a whole bunch of other artists around the world. It's really cool, and they're working on getting it funded. And there's all sorts of different tiers that can get you digital copies, physical copies, copies of their previous anthology. Check it out on Indiegogo.
There you go.
Cup of Tea.
Cup of Tea. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.